The navigation deck of the Celestial Wanderer hummed with its usual morning rhythm, a symphony of beeps, whirs, and the occasional hiss of pressure valves that Kira had learned to find comforting over the past 3 cycles. She stretched her arms above her head, vertebrae popping in succession, and made her way toward the galley with the singular focus of someone who hadn't eaten in 14 standard hours. The ship's AI, Arya, chirped a pleasant greeting. "Good morning, Specialist Chun. Would you like me to prepare your usual breakfast?" "That'd be great, Arya. Thanks." Kira rubbed the sleep from her eyes, already imagining the protein bars and reconstituted coffee that awaited her. Not exactly gourmet, but after 6 months aboard a deep space research vessel, one learned to appreciate consistency. What she didn't expect was the small furry obstacle blocking the galley entrance. Vox stood at barely 3 feet tall, his triangular ears perked forward in obvious excitement, his 6-fingered hands clutched behind his back. The young Kelhari cub's copper fur caught the artificial lighting, making him look like some sort of living, breathing teddy bear if teddy bears had retractable claws and could crack titanium with their bite force. "Human Kira!" Vox announced, his voice carrying that peculiar musical quality all Kelhari possessed. "I have made morning meal for you." Kira stopped mid-stride. In the 3 weeks since Vox had come aboard as part of the cultural exchange program with the Kelhari Confederacy, the cub had shown interest in everything from earth music to human literature. But cooking? That was new. "You name me breakfast?" Kira asked carefully. "Yes," Vox bounced on his hind legs, tail swishing with pride. "I watched you many mornings. I learned the ritual. It is important for pack bonding, yes?" Something warm bloomed in Kira's chest. The Kelhari were a fierce, proud species apex predators on their home world who'd achieved spaceflight through sheer determination and what humans diplomatically called aggressive innovation. They didn't do sentiment easily. For Vox to attempt something like this meant he'd been paying attention in ways that mattered. "That's really sweet of you, Vox. I'd love to." "You will sit." Vox interrupted, gesturing dramatically toward the small dining alcove. "The honored packmate does not stand when meal is presented." Kira bit back a smile and complied, settling into one of the bolted-down chairs. Through the viewport beside her, distant stars wheeled slowly across the black canvas of space. Vox disappeared into the galley, and she heard the unmistakable sounds of cabinet doors opening, something metallic clattering, and what might have been a small explosion quickly followed by Vox's reassurance. "It's fine. It's supposed to do that." Aria's avatar flickered into existence beside Kira, a small holographic figure with a concerned expression. "Specialist Chun, I feel obligated to inform you that Cadet Vox accessed the emergency rations locker at 0400 hours this morning. He also disabled my monitoring protocols in the galley for approximately 40 minutes. Did he damage anything?" "Negative. However, I cannot account for several items that were previously secured." Kira raised an eyebrow. "Like what?" 3 protein bars, 1 packet of dried fruit, a sealed container of nutrient paste, and Arya paused, approximately 27 decorative pebbles from the hydroponics bay. "Pebbles?" "Yes, the smooth, rounded stones used for drainage in the plant beds." Before Kira could process this information, Vox emerged from the galley carrying what could only generously be described as a plate. It was actually one of the equipment trays from the medical bay, but Vox had clearly tried to make it presentable by arranging his creation with geometric precision. The meal defied easy description. There were chunks of protein bar that had been painstakingly mashed into something resembling paste. Dried fruit pieces formed a circle around the perimeter. The nutrient paste had been squeezed into what might have been an artistic pattern or possibly a Kalhari curse word. Kira wasn't entirely sure. And there, nestled among the food items like garnish, were smooth gray pebbles from the hydroponics bay, carefully washed and still glistening with moisture. Vox placed the tray before her with the solemnity of a Michelin star chef presenting their signature dish. "I made human breakfast," he announced, whiskers twitching with barely contained pride. "The nutritional components are balanced. The stones are for—" He paused, ears swiveling as he searched for the right word. "Texture. Yes, texture. Very important in human cuisine, I learned." Kira stared at the creation before her. Her first instinct was to laugh. Her second was to explain that humans didn't typically eat rocks. Her third, the one she acted on, was to recognize what this really was. This was a young alien, thousands of light years from his homeworld, trying to bridge an impossible cultural gap with nothing but observation and determination. This was Vox saying, in the only way he knew how, that she mattered. That their friendship mattered. She picked up the utensil Vox had provided, actually a calibration tool from engineering, but close enough, and scooped up a portion of the mashed protein bar mixture, carefully avoiding the pebbles. "Vox," she said seriously, meeting his large, luminous eyes. "This might be the most thoughtful thing anyone has ever done for me." His ears shot forward. "Truly?" "Truly." She took a bite. It tasted exactly like mashed protein bar, which was to say it tasted like compressed cardboard with vague hints of chocolate. But she'd eaten worse during her academy days. "The flavors are complex." Vox's tail began wagging so fast it was nearly a blur. "I tried to match what I observed. Humans enjoy mixing food items together, yes? Creating new combinations?" "We do," Kara confirmed, taking another bite and pushing aside a pebble with her makeshift utensil. "Though usually we leave out the rocks." Vox's ears drooped slightly. "The stones are incorrect?" "Well," Kira said diplomatically, "they're decorative. Very pretty. But humans have softer teeth than Kelhari. We can't really chew stones." "Ah!" Vox's expression brightened with understanding. "Inferior bite force. I have forgotten. Human physiology is quite fragile, yes?" "We prefer specialized," Kira said dryly, but she was smiling. They sat together in companionable silence as Kira worked her way through the edible portions of the meal, Vox watching with rapt attention, occasionally offering commentary on his creative process. He'd apparently spent hours researching human food preparation, watching archived videos from Earth, and trying to reverse engineer recipes with the limited ingredients available on a deep space research vessel. When she finished, Kira carefully arranged the pebbles in a neat pile. "Vox, this was wonderful. Thank you for thinking of me." The young Kelhari stood straighter, his chest puffing with pride. "This is what packmates do, yes? We care for each other. We share meals. He paused, his voice dropping to something quieter, more vulnerable. "We make home wherever we are together." And there it was. The real message behind the stolen rations and floor pebbles. Vox was homesick, light years from everything familiar, and he'd found a way to create connection in the void. Kira stood and held out her hand, palm up, in the gesture of trust the Kalahari used among family. Vox placed his smaller, clawed hand in hers without hesitation. "You know what?" Kira said, "Tomorrow morning I'll make you a human breakfast. A real one, with actual recipes and everything." Vox's eyes widened. "You will teach me?" "I will. But fair warning, there will be no pebbles involved." "Disappointing," Vox said solemnly, but his tail was wagging again. "But I will adapt. This is what we do, yes? Humans and Kalahari together? We adapt. We overcome." Kira grinned. "Yeah, kid. That's exactly what we do." As Vox began chattering excitedly about Earth cuisine and asking if humans really ate something called pizza that was apparently made from wheat circles with sauce and melted fat protein, Kira caught Arya's holographic avatar giving her an approximation of a warm smile. Outside the viewport, the stars continued their eternal dance, indifferent to the small moments of connection happening aboard one tiny vessel among billions. But here in this moment, those connections were everything. A human and a Kalahari cub, building bridges across species with nothing but good intentions, stolen rations, and yes, a few decorative pebbles. It wasn't the breakfast Kara had expected. It was something infinitely better.